What's good, everyone? It's UturnCrobat here. You're turning into today with week 9? Week 10? I'm not even sure. Of the NPCC. I'm sorry, guys. But we're going up against a guy who actually I have been wanting to battle for quite some time. I feel like he and I battled once before. I think he kind of replaced someone. I'm not even sure. I've been busy. But yeah, so one, I am recording this a different way, so hopefully it all comes out good. Two, this was really exciting for me because I really wanted to test out a couple new Pokemon that we got. We made a trade with Jacob. We traded our Entei for Arcanine, and with our points that we had left over, we managed to grab Heracross. Not Mega Heracross, just regular Heracross, because in this season, we're not having any Megas. So for my Pokemon that I am bringing Heracross, who has the Toxic Orb. Well, actually, no, who has the Flame Orb. I'll get into that a little bit later, but it has the Flame Orb, Guts, Close Combat, Facade, Knockoff, Sword Stance, with 252 attack, 4 defense, 252 in speed, Jolly nature, so we could outspeed a potential speed creeping Nidoking. And so, regarding the orbs, we did have Toxic Orb on it originally because our opponent does have Cofagrigus, meaning that if we make contact with that Coffin, then we ended up getting the Mummy ability, which means we will no longer have Guts. So if we're burned, we're just like any other burned physical attacker, and that would really suck. So last minute, we ended up trading the, changing the Toxic Orb to the Flame Orb. Now, hindsight, that was kind of a bad decision, just kind of a bad play, but at the same time, last minute changes are just kind of, they sometimes work out, they sometimes don't. And regarding last minute changes, we ended up changing Azumarill to Heracross. We did not have Heracross on the team to begin with. So that was one last minute change, and that was kind of cool because Heracross does put in a lot of work. So our next Pokemon that we're bringing is Dugtrio, with Sludge Wave, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Pursuit. With the choice Scarf, we really needed to outspeed some of his Pokemon. He has a Manchow, for God's sake. He has Nidoking, so we really needed to trap some Pokemon and just try outspeeding them. 204 in attack, 76 special attack, 228 in speed, a 76 special attack because, well, we have Sludge Wave, and we have the Naughty Nature. Now we're bringing Kyurem because Kyurem also punches holes in our opponent's team. Ice Beam, Earth Power, Dragon Claw, Fusion Bolt with choice Scarf. Same reason that we scarfed Dugtrio. We really needed to outspeed some of his mons like Manchow, Tornadus, Nidoking. 36 HP, 108 attack, 4 defense, 180 special attack, 180 in speed, and a naive nature. Next up, we have Entei. Arcanine, who I nicknamed Mega Entei, but leftovers, Intimidate, Toxic, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, and Morning Sun. 140 HP, 8 attack, 252 defense, 8 special defense, and 100 in speed with an impish nature. This was kind of one of our physical, well, not physical, but this was one of our mons that could take physical attacks. But if we needed to have it take at least one Hurricane from a potential Tornadus, then it can take at least one. We really didn't want it to, but it can take at least one. We packed Toxic for his walls, like Cofagrigus. If we have that if we're battling that Vaporeon, then the Toxic can go on the Vaporeon. If we Toxic the Manchow, that would be pretty awesome. Toxicking the Tornadus would be nice as well. Uxie, we have the Colbur Berry, because he does have that Honchkrows, so if he decides to Pursuit Trap us, we can take at least one. If he decides to Sucker Punch us, we can take at least one. U-Turn, Stealth Rock, Heal Bell, Psychic, Calm Nature, 244 HP, 12 defense, 252 special defense. And last but not least, we're bringing Sister Abigail, the Mandibuzz. Leftovers, Overcoat because the other abilities don't really matter. This ability doesn't really matter in this battle, but Taunt, Knockoff, Roost Defog, 188 HP, 68 defense, 252 special defense, and a Careful nature. Now my opponent, we weren't really sure who he was going to bring. He's bringing the Tornadus, Latias, Registeel, Honchkrow, Manchow, Cofagrigus. Like I was mentioning in the beginning of this video, we kind of thought he was going to bring Nidoking. We thought potentially he could have brought Registeel, but we thought Nidoking over Registeel We kind of weren't sure on if he was going to bring Rodriguez, but it kind of makes sense because we do have a few physical attackers that he can take advantage of with that mummy ability. Now, this battle came down to the timer, guys, so I'm recording this through XSplit. Not through XSplit, but I'm recording this through Sony Vegas. So I did speed it up, so hopefully you all can kind of just see what goes down. I'm actually going to be... Let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can do. I'm making some, here we go. I'm just gonna start it right here, why not? We'll see how this comes out. If I have to re-record it, so be it. But this was a long battle, because it came down to the timer. I'm not gonna really commentate through the entire thing, only because there's just a lot going on. Now, regarding Sister Abigail and regarding Tornadus, it was basically Sister Abigail and Tornadus the movie. It was literally them two all the time, and there was a lot of stalling. I don't really want to use the word stalling because that's not really stalling when I don't really have any switch-ins. But regarding Mandibuzz and Tornadus, we don't really have a lot of Pokemon that can really take a Hurricane, and as you can see right there, Mandibuzz really was the perfect Pokemon to take those Hurricanes, and so that's our #1 switch-in. It really was. So I didn't want to throw Kyurem in the way of a Hurricane. Granted, it could take at least one, but I wanted to preserve Kyurem the best that I could, simply because we really needed both of our Scarfers. We wanted to wear down Registeel, we wanted to wear down Manchow at best, to have one of our Scarfers just come in and just clean up shop. But because he has that Registeel, we really needed to just prepare for that and just try dwindling down that freaking Registeel's health. Now, at this point in time, I really thought I could go for just another knockoff, and that would have been amazing because Manchow has a Life Orb, and taking away that Life Orb would have been amazing, but at the same time, we really just needed to roost up. I wasn't sure how many Hurricanes he was going to throw at me. He didn't really miss any, barring one later in the battle, but I really wanted to roost up. We really needed all the HP that we could get, because we needed to one-up that Tornadus. Now, luckily, we do pack the Toxic on the Arcanine. He didn't bring Vaporeon, which is what it is. I'm glad he didn't bring Vaporeon. That would have been one other wall that I would have had an issue with. But at the same time, we do pack Toxic for the Vaporeon, but because he wanted to bring Latias, we do throw the Toxic up on that thing. So, you know, it's a plus. It's a plus. And as you saw right there, Dragon Pulse does not do much at all to Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is our #1 wall in this freaking battle. And as you see right here, Mandibuzz Tornadus, the movie, they took up all the screen time. And it was during the battle, to me, it was rather annoying because I really didn't want to stay in, but I knew that I had to. I knew that I had to because knockoff, it's doing enough where Mandibuzz can beat Tornadus one-on-one, but at the same time, I wanted to switch out, but I couldn't. I really couldn't. I did not want anyone taking a Hurricane. It would have hurt our number. It would have hurt a lot of our mons. It would have sucked. Now I'm gonna taunt the Registeel simply because, well, it's a Registeel. It could have had Stealth Rocks. It could have anything really. So taunts going on the Manchow, it doesn't really matter. But it's really funny. Mandibuzz Tornadus the movie. Now this season in the NPCC, it's really interesting for me because I'm battling a lot of people that I haven't really battled before. I really haven't, and so it's just a good time. It's a good time. I love it. It's really fun because I've never battled Bill. I've never battled Mert. I've never battled, who else? Cap. I've never battled a lot of these guys, and it's so much fun. And quite frankly, I've made a lot of friends. Bill is an amazing person. I'm glad that I've been talking to him. Even with Cap. Cap is my #1 boy, and I love that guy. Same with Bill, and I've just made a lot of new friends that I'm definitely gonna keep in contact with. So this season on the NPCC has been kind of rough, simply because we have a couple people who've dropped out. We've had a couple people who haven't really uploaded. I'm not gonna really say a couple. I'm just gonna say one person who hasn't uploaded the battles at all, and it's rather annoying. but we are going to be having a Season 4 of the NPCC. And it's hopefully with Season 4 of the NPCC, it will be a hell of a lot better. I'm not saying that Season 3 isn't good, because it really is, because I was just saying that we have a lot of cool people in it. So I'm hoping that we can bring all the goodness from Season 3 into Season 4 whenever we do decide to start that. But it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time nonetheless. But we were really scared of Manchow's high jump kick. I mean, who isn't, right? Who isn't? So we really tried predicting, well, not necessarily predicting, but team building wise, we're trying to just have some mons who could deal, not necessarily check, but deal with Manchow, and we do, because we do have Intimidate on Arcanine. Arcanine can take at least one high jump kick if it needs to, not that I really wanted it to, but it can take at least one, and that's a plus. I didn't really mind that. But luckily, I didn't put Arcanine in the way of a high jump kick. God forbid I did, that would have been disastrous. But Cofagrigus is rather annoying. Cofagrigus is a good wall that he has, and that's one problem that I really needed to work around. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, we do have that Heracross, and I did have the Flame Orb instead of the Toxic Orb. I changed that last minute, probably shouldn't have. But I did. Hindsight's 20/20. You never really know what's going to happen until it actually happens. You already saw before how much a Dragon Pulse does to Mandibuzz. It does diddly, and Mandibuzz is just our #1 wall that I really need to keep alive. I tried my best to keep it alive. I tried making some double switches, and luckily this double right here was perfect for me, because now he doesn't have a ton to really deal with Kyurem. Granted, this Registeel can deal with Kyurem, with the Fusion Bolt, and everything with Scarfurluck and out the switch. But now that I'm going to go out into Dugtrio, he's actually going to predict that and just go out into the Cofagrigus. I'm going to go into my Heracross right here. This was the problem of having the Flame Orb, because after this knockoff, we now have the Mummy ability, which now means we are just like any other physical attacker that is burned. We're not going to do shit to this Cofagrigus. So I really need to switch out. It's pointless if I stayed in, because Heracross could have put in a little more work later in the battle if need be. But luckily, we now have Kyurem, and this is going to do a butt ton to that Tornadus. That Dragon Claw would have 2-hit KO'd that Tornadus, and it's not going to do too much to the Registeel. This was just a long battle. It really was. Neither one of us really, when it came down to it, about like 15 minutes, when we had about 15 minutes left, we weren't trying to timer stall at all. But at the same time, if you need to win, then you kind of do anything in your power to win. I know that Bill, for the most part, is just having fun in this season, and that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I mean, who isn't, right? Who isn't? You should always try to have fun in your leagues. I mean, I do try to have fun. I do. But at the same time, because the NPCC is just like, it's my baby, I do take it seriously. So, I mean, it's fun to battle all these new people who I haven't battled before. But I do try taking it seriously for the most part, just because, like I said, I am one of the creators. And as you saw right there, we did pick up the win. And at the same time, he didn't really have... It came down to 6-4 because of the timer. We ran down the timer, and we ended up killing his Registeel with the Dugtrio, and we ended up killing his Manchow with the Kyurem, with the Dragon Claw, because we were scarred, obviously. And so, just looking back at that battle, it was fun. It was fun, but at the same time, there were a lot of plays that I wish I didn't really make. Granted, I didn't have any switch-ins for a Hurricane, so I kind of had to leave Mandibuzz in the way of that Tornadus. I didn't have any choice. But it was a good battle. I really loved playing Bill. I did. You know, despite it just going down to the timer, I loved battling Bill because he has a lot of threatening Pokemon in that Honchkrow and the Manchow. Even with the Tornadus, he has a lot of Pokemon that could tear holes in our team. If he brought, I actually talked to him about this after the battle, if he brought Nidoking, then that Nidoking would have tore a hole through our team. We would have had a big problem with that. And this battle would have gone it would have gone quicker, but at the same time, had he brought Nidoking, he potentially could have won. I'm just throwing that out there. He potentially could have won. And at the same time, that Tornadus, earlier in the battle, we knocked off the Tornadus, but nothing came off. So I just assumed that he had the Z Crystal, but I guess he either A, didn't have a Z Crystal, or he didn't have the right Z Crystal. I kind of forget which one there, but as you saw, nothing came off. Now that would have been a huge play on his part had he used the Z Crystal when he had the chance. Had he had it, I'm not sure if he had it or not, but if he forgot it, and I think he did, and that kind of really sucks because the battle could have went differently. He wanted to put the Z Fusion Bolt on Tornadus, and if he had the chance to use it, then this battle would have gone differently. I guess that Latias was a Wish supporter, and so because I toxicked that Laddie, then he didn't really have a chance to use it. But I'm just gonna get the hell out of here. I had fun. I know Bill had fun. I tried recording this differently, so I didn't really waste any of your guys' time, but I hope you had a fun time nonetheless. But yeah, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I hope all of you have a great time, great day, and I'll catch all of you all on the flip side.